I was born and raised in England, in the north of England, on a small peninsula called the Wirral, which is near Liverpool, in between Liverpool and Wales. And I've got a little brother, and my parents lived together until I was 11 years old, and then they were divorced. And I was raised by my mum during the week and by my father in the weekends. I went to a local infant school and junior school, but then I was fortunate enough to win a scholarship for children from disadvantaged backgrounds to a private school. And so my secondary education was sponsored by alumni of the school that I went to for my final years. Very lucky. I'm a head teacher, so I was inspired by my own education, that it was a way to support children out of perhaps any circumstance that they're in, and that education is a way to open doors rather than close them. And so I became a head teacher in England, and then the UK education system is going through quite a significant number of changes at the moment, and I decided that perhaps I could add more value by not being in England. And so we moved to Malaysia here, Kuala Lumpur, and I'm a principal of a school with 820 students here in central Kuala Lumpur. For me, my drivers have always been about the children themselves, and the career has kind of happened incidentally. So I'm very much driven about ensuring that every child reaches their potential, and that every adult that I work with also reaches their potential, and that those two should work symbiotically. So if you're working to develop children to the best of your ability, then that's pushing you as a professional to be the best professional you can be. And by becoming a better professional, then you raise yourself through your career. Certainly my values are the children in my work lead everything. If a teacher is unhappy, then that's hard luck, I'm afraid. It's for the benefit of kids, and if you have that as a main driver, then that allows you to be very single-minded in the decisions that you make. It means that it's not difficult to decide what route you should be taking as an educationist, or as a leader, or as somebody like managing staff. So my next step in my career is to now move into a director position, is what I'm looking to do sometime in the future. So the best way of influencing more and more children is to be responsible for more and more children. And so I'm head of a primary school, which is for children 3 to 11 years old. And so my next aspiration is either to work with children from 0 to 11 years old, or from 3 years old to 18 years old. So that's my next career move, so I'll keep an eye out for the right opportunity. For my family, we've got a daughter who turns 2 this weekend, so she's nearly 2, and a little girl, another daughter who just turned 7 weeks. So it's about starting their education and setting them off on a life path that's appropriate to them. My husband gave up work so that he could look after our daughters. So yeah, it'd be finding the right school for them to be educated in and starting them on their path. I think for me it's about making sure that everybody else has the same drivers that you have. Certainly when you choose to work for a leader, you start off by being interviewed by them, and so they're choosing you, but to keep people and to make sure that they're developing as staff, they have to want to work for you, and that they have to align their beliefs and their values with yours, so that you're all working for the same outcome. And I have a very clear belief system and a very clear value system, so it's about articulating that and making sure you surround yourself with those same values. And sometimes that doesn't happen. So sometimes it is about parting company so that people can go on to work with people that better meet their expectations. Maybe they don't want to work so hard, or work such long hours, or don't have the same value set. And then you can replace them with people who do. So staffing, I think, is probably my biggest challenge. Some people don't want to work as hard as I do. Yeah. I guess my last word would be that it doesn't matter what your starting point is. Through educating yourself and investing in yourself through learning, you can be anything you want to be, and the sky's the limit. Just choose.